Okay, hi everyone. It's Stephanie from Lumeria Star, and today I will be doing another tarot tag. So this is going to be a VR to, I believe it's the waves of your soul. I think I will make sure I check before I post this, and I'll tag the right tag. But the hashtag is good mood deck. So I thought that's fun. Like, life is really hard right now, so like, why don't we focus on some good mood decks? So it got me thinking, like, what decks do just put me in a good mood? Or maybe I am drawn to them when I'm already in a good mood, or maybe they put me in a good mood if I'm not. So I have, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 decks to go through. These are just the ones that kind of like popped in my head right away. So like, let's just go through them. So the first deck in my Good Moods deck is the Gentle Tarot. This is the pocket edition in a tin. This is by Mari in the Sky on Instagram. That's her handle. I do also have this deck full size, but there's something about this pocket edition that I don't know. Like how can I not be in a good mood? So let's take a look. So the backs are, so like, I think I've realized I do like smaller decks. Something about them feels very cute. It feels very easy to hold in my hands. I do have kind of small hands. So I want to say this is maybe like Lenormand size, perhaps. Just so cute. The backs are adorable. There's this like pretty kind of metallic finish. Beautiful gold edging. Like, everything about this deck in my hands feels so nice. So when I use it, I just feel like I'm in a good mood. Since I got this deck, I love decks in tins, particularly for when I travel or when I go like hiking and stuff like that, which I try to do as often as I can. So I think I also equate, or I'm starting to equate, this deck with like hiking, being outside. The fact that it's in a tin, I can just like throw it in a purse or a backpack, a suitcase. I don't have to worry about getting ruined. And again, it's so nature-based, and I do feel really happy when I'm in nature, whether it's at the beach or in the mountains. So I don't know, everything about this deck just kind of like scratches that itch for me. And again, it's the size, it's the quality of this deck. She did not at all skimp on the quality of this deck. It feels just so good in my hands. It's not the linen finish. I don't know, I'm just one of those people who like isn't crazy about linen finish. I love this like sumptuous soft matte. Yeah, just everything about this deck is just lovely. I bring it with me when I travel, on vacations, a day at a winery with friends. I'll throw it in my purse and we'll do some like card pulls in the vineyard. So I think, with that being said, and it's also called the Gentle Tarot. So, it's gentle, it's loving. Oh, I just realized there's 2 lovers cards. I've been using this for a while and I didn't even know. I really like this one with butterflies. The original size deck has this card. This is new. I didn't even realize that. I've been using this deck with 2 lovers cards, which is fine. Yeah, so this deck just automatically puts me in a good mood. I think the full size does too, but again, I think it's this tiny little pocket tin deck that it just really does it for me. And I am very into tactile experiences, so everything about handling this deck is a dream. The only thing I will say is the deck, or the tin, has styrofoam in it, like a foam, not styrofoam, a foam to protect the cards, but it's a snug fit. So you kind of have to like put the cards in groups, which, isn't the best when I'm kind of in a hurry, which I feel like when I'm using this deck, I'm out and about. So I might actually go ahead and like take this out. I don't mind if the cards like bump around in the tin a little bit. So like, you kind of have to put them back in like this. So that's like the only tiny little gripe I have with this deck, and that's so minor. but I can easily fix that by removing the foam. So that goes like that, and then you just kind of slide the case back on. So this is the Gentle Tarot in a tin. Good mood makes me happy. Okay, so speaking of other tin decks, because I like tin decks and I like small decks, we've got the Pocket Halloween Tarot. So for those of you who, you know, maybe have been following me for a while on social media, you probably know I'm a huge Halloween lover, like fall, October, Halloween, horror fanatic. So everything about this deck is cute and fun, and Halloween in general just makes me happy. So one thing you might not know about me is when I'm like sad or having a bad day or, you know, just tired, like comfort for me is putting on like any type of like Halloween based movie. So it could be The Nightmare Before Christmas. It might be Hocus Pocus. It's also actual horror. So I'll put on like Halloween. I'll put on like, I don't know, it's just very comforting to me. So this deck is comforting and fun. It also really piques like my inner child just with the illustrations. They're so whimsical. And again, the size is adorable. It feels really good in my hands. It's really easy to shuffle. It's very Rider-Waite Smith, so it's just such an easy reader. So if like, I don't know, let's say you're just kind of like tired and not in a good mood, I'll take this deck out. This deck will put me in a good mood because all I see is like pumpkins and ghosts, which is like my happiness. And then it's small and cute, and it's easy to read because it's so RWS. So like, to me, it's like, how can I not be in a good mood when I use this deck? I do also have this in the full size. Look at the tower. It's like a haunted house. Cute. I feel like a lot of my good mood decks might also be considered cute decks. Maybe. Possibly. But yeah, this one is definitely a good mood deck for me for sure. So this one I use year round. Like you might not see it on my Instagram feed, but I do use this a lot personally year round when I need comfort. It's definitely a comfort deck. Pumpkins in general just make me happy. Pumpkins and ghosts. Okay, so that is the second deck in my Good Moods deck. So that is the Halloween Tarot in a Tin. This is created by Kipling West, and this is a US Games deck. Love. Okay, so another kind of small deck, which is my Tarot to Carlotide. So this is a Fournier deck. So many of you probably know the Fournier size. It's still smaller than regular tarot. I absolutely adore everything about this deck. These backs make me really, really happy. I would love if, what's her name? Carlotta Santos, if she like made this into a wallpaper. I would put this on like an accent wall in my office. That's how much I love this wallpaper. Again, the size feels really good in my hands, and her artwork is just super feminine and whimsical and strange. And those tend to be like aesthetics I'm drawn to. I like, there's a lot of color in here. It just feels like very feminine line work. It's very soft. It's playful, and it's also weird. Like it kind of goes its own way and it's all over the place, but for some reason it really works. It works so much for me. So I just love this deck. I love it so much. Look how pretty all these florals. And there's also a lot of fun references in here too. This death card, gorgeous. They're very pagan and quirky. Also very high fashion, I feel like. Look at this High Priestess, amazing. It's just such a great deck. This is very like the Wicker Man. I forget the artist. Oh gosh, it's escaping me right now. But there's a lot of like references in here to like famous art. I'm trying to think what else. What are some of my favorite cards? I love my Queen of Wands card, which is definitely my significator. We have David Bowie. I love decks with David Bowie because I'm a huge Bowie fan. Where's my card? This sun card is gorgeous. So here she is, my Queen of Wands, which is very like midsummer. So like love the little references. This is just such a quirky deck and it's so pretty and playful. So this deck puts me in a good mood. So I've noticed I use this pretty frequently. This is always kind of out and about and ready to use. And I'm going to be using this with the new astrology deck that is out right now. So this is Tarot de Carlotide's Good Mood deck. Okay, so a cute deck that puts me in a good mood is the Cute Cat Tarot. So this deck is a deck that I actually use pretty much strictly for inner child work. The box is really nice. The guidebook's also really nice. It's really just, again, taps into my inner child. The quality is really nice. It's holographic and fun. And the artwork is just, it's cute. The cats are adorable. It taps into like my love for like Sanrio and like Hello Kitty, which, as you know, a young Asian girl, it's almost like a prerequisite. You have to love Hello Kitty. So I grew up on Hello Kitty. So everything about this deck just tickles me. The cats are so cute. Like, how can you not be in a good mood when using this deck? Look at the Tower card. It's a little mouse setting the cat tower on fire. It's so fun. So this is mostly an inner child deck, but even if I don't use it for inner child work, to me it's so lighthearted. It's sweet. The guidebook's really good too. It's every time I use this deck, it's honestly such a truth teller, I've realized. Like it hits the nail on the head every time. So even though this is really cute and maybe you're drawn to it, do not be mistaken. This is not a light deck. This is such a truth teller, like especially when I'm doing, again, inner child work. I may be processing some family stuff. I'll use this deck and without fail, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you're right. I love this Lover's card with their sushi and wine. It always makes me want sushi when I see that card. There is an extra card, the alignment. It's very Rider-Waite-Smith, so it's easy to read. And the guidebook, it's also really cute. Really nice quality too, like kind of glossy paper and color. The back of the guidebook starts on page 128, and it'll tell you each card and the cat it was based off of, like a real life cat. So the moon is based off of this cat, Missy. The world card is for Vincent van Gogh. Ace of Cups is Boss. So it's just cute. Like if you're a cat lover or just animal lover, it's a fun deck and it's a feel-good deck. So to me, it's like, how can you not be in a good mood when you use this deck? If you're in a bad mood, I think it'll help you snap out of it. So that is the Cute Cat Tarot. This is by, Sheila Usadi and Sonia Fabiola. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Really, really enjoy this deck. Let me put that off to the side. Okay, so another good mood deck for me is the Moon Void Tarot, specifically the 3rd edition, and I think it's because the pink, honestly. I also have the 1st edition, which I adore. So this is by Stephanie Capone, who I love. These are the pretty backs, and it's edged in like kind of like a little bit of a shimmery, metallic-y kind of silver. And this deck is very feminine and modern. Like I just love, like, you know, pretty. I just picture like with girlfriends drinking rosé. There's a lot of like florals, like cup of coffee in the morning. This deck to me is very rooted in the real world, in the modern world. It feels very relatable, but I think it's the color palette and the softness of it that just puts me in a good mood. This is the deck I also used when being able to first connect with my spirit guide, which is my old cat Skittle. So like I also have that association with this deck. So that's another reason this deck puts me in a good mood. There's like little pictures, I think, of Stephanie's cat who looks like my cat growing up. So like I think I have that association now. So really enjoy that. Yeah, this is just a lovely deck. There she is. There's Skittle. I don't think that's the card I pulled for her though. The Empress. So I actually had Stephanie commission artwork to draw me as the Empress. I should share that. I shared it on my Instagram 2 years ago when she first did it, and I have that framed in my room. So that's also another really good like association I have with this deck. It's just a beauty. She's so feminine. I think I was talking about on Instagram like decks. Oh, is this a stain? What happened here? I think I was talking about decks that give me certain goddess vibes. And if this were a goddess vibe, to me, it would be like very Aphrodite. All the roses, the clamshells, the pearls. It's so soft and feminine. This would be an Aphrodite deck, just full of love, femininity. There are some extra cards. I love this planchette. There's a rose quartz oracle card that I keep in. This is the card I pulled. That is my cat Skittle growing up. So that is very special to me. And also she is the Queen of Wands. So her birthday, she is also a Queen of Wands. She's a fire sign. She was an Aries, but I'm also a Queen of Wands as a Leo. So like that feels special. I know that's silly, but these are the things that feel special to me. The Hierophant is a crystal ball, which I think is really, really great. This Strength card is gorgeous. I do love this Five of Pentacles as cobweb, spiderweb. This lovely Ten of Cups, so romantic. It's just such a great deck. I love this deck so much. And the guidebook that came with this deck too is incredible, I will say. I will admit I didn't use it for a while because I typically don't use guidebooks just because I like to read intuitive and I'm pretty proficient with that. But one day I picked it up and I was like, oh my gosh, like Stephanie has a way of just like framing the cards that maybe I didn't see. So I really use the guidebook with this deck now. So this is definitely a good mood deck for me. Moon Void Tarot, 3rd edition. Okay, next with my good mood decks is the Moon Baby Tarot. So this was a Kickstarter I backed. When did this come out? Was it just last year? So this is by Brant Palazzo, and this is basically a reimagined deck of the original Hoi Polloi, which I do have, and that should be a good mood deck. It is a good mood deck. I just didn't think of pulling it. These are the back. So basically it's just a reimagined deck of the original Hoi Polloi. So what puts me in a good mood with this deck, it's RWS, so it's super easy to read. I love the color palette in this deck. The purples and the pinks and the oranges, and like they're kind of jewel toned and they're kind of pastel at the same time, and it's very retro and 70s, and I've learned I'm very drawn to any type of 70s, 60s and 70s aesthetic. So that's what this gives me. I was just so excited when this Kickstarter came out, and when I got the deck, it's such a clear reader. I think this edition is completely sold out. I think he did a second run of the cards with, this had like you probably can't even see it. This is a very, very light pink edging. I think the next one just has a different color box and a different color edging, but they're the same card. So I didn't need to back that because essentially to me, it's the same deck, just a different box color. I love this Queen of Cups, so pretty. And this Queen of Wands. Oh, look, all my queens are together. Yeah, this deck just always puts me in a good mood. It feels kind of summery. I'll probably be using this deck next month in August, I think. Yeah, I probably will. It just makes me happy. The cards always look really beautiful laid out on a table or on a spread cloth. Look at this sumptuous Nine of Pentacles. Look at this retro rainbow in the Ten of Cups. I just love it. I love this deck so much. All the pinks. I am a sucker for pink. I really am. So this is a win. Look how gorgeous this moon is with this face in the moon. Yeah, that's such a good mood deck. I'm so happy I backed this one. And I'm really happy I do have the original Hoi Polloi, which definitely I would consider a good mood deck for me, but I didn't think of grabbing it, so we're not going to include it in this video. So this is the Moon Baby Tarot, first edition by Brant Palazzo. Okay, so next on my list is a deck in this pouch, and this is the Northern Animal Tarot. Let me get that out of here. So I also backed this one on Kickstarter. These are the extra cards that I don't necessarily always use, so I'll put those off to the side. This is the guidebook. So these are the backs. They are this like kind of papery finish. I did edge these in like kind of this cool green color. I did kind of a sloppy job, but I still think it looks pretty good. And I love the smell of this paper. I don't know why. For anyone who likes to smell paper or their decks or their books, I weirdly like the smell of this deck. So just the smell alone puts me in a good mood. The artwork is adorable. So some people don't like anthropomorphized animals. I've realized I'm kind of a fan of them. It's silly and whimsical, so that puts me in a good mood. This art style, and I forget the artist's name, forgive me. It's Wilder Heart Studio on Instagram. I forget her name though, but her art style is very whimsical and it reminds me of children's books I used to read. So that also puts me in a good mood. It feels, like I said, whimsical, comforting. It allows me to like daydream and just get lost in a storybook. So to me, this will put me in a good mood if I'm not in one already. And it's also very Rider-Waite Smith, so it's easy to read. I feel like when I'm in a good mood, like it's nice to just like pick up an easy reader too and just boom, get right in there. It's just so sweet. It is a little bit bigger, but I don't mind, just because I really do love this cardstock, surprisingly. Because it has a bit of a linen finish, but it's papery. And the smell. I don't know why. Does anyone else like the smell of this deck? It has a distinct smell. It really does. Let me know in the comments below if you like the smell of this deck. Maybe it's the ink, because I think she used like eco-friendly like ink or vegan ink, something like that. Yeah, this deck puts me in a good mood just because it's so whimsical and cheerful. And I edged it, and like, you know, I didn't do a great job, but like, it's a good enough job. So this is the Northern Animal Tarot. I will say this also reminds me of home, because I grew up in the Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania, and a lot of those like woodland creatures were just like in my backyard all the time. So this also has some nostalgia to it, which is nice. So this is the Northern Animal Tarot, another good mood deck for me. Okay, I have 4 more, so thank you for sticking with me. The next deck I have is kind of random. This is the Food Fortunes Tarot. So I will admit, I don't really use this as a tarot, but I will tell you how I use it. So you could technically use this as tarot. I don't, because I have enough decks to do for that. This is written and illustrated by Josh Lafayette. I found this randomly on Instagram. No, not Instagram, Amazon. These are the backs. So it is a 78 card deck, and it has this like, you know, Pamela Coleman Smith inspired artwork, and it's literally all food. So food puts me in a good mood, number one. So like, ooh, ramen, good mood. Like cornbread in a skillet, yes please. Baked mac and cheese, yeah. Broccoli, meh, okay. Vegetables, okay. But how I use this deck, so I originally bought this just because it was novelty and it was cute. Like falafel and bacon. And the little titles are cute too. So this is the scoop, the Forever Golden, our French fries. And we see we've got like the tarot, so Page of Sweets, Queen of Sweets, Ace of Mains. So technically you actually could use this as a tarot deck because it's got the element and it's got the number. So this is water and this is 5, 6, 7, 8. So that would be like 8 of cups. So technically you could do that. And there is a little guidebook. Let's see here. It's just silly. There are some spreads. Yeah, you kind of just do it like intuitively, I think. I don't use it that way. How I do use it, I will tell you. So if it's just me or maybe I'm with some friends and like we don't know where to go out to eat or we don't know what to order in, sometimes I will get this deck out and I will do these like card pulls. I'll give you an example actually. Let's do an example. So I'll be like, okay guys, no one knows where they want to eat tonight. We could either get Chinese or do we want, somewhere where like we could get like a nice charcuterie platter or cheese platter. And people will be like, no, I'm definitely not feeling cheese, like maybe Chinese. And I'll be like, okay, do we want Mexican? Is anyone feeling guacamole? Ooh, actually guacamole sounds good. And I'm like, okay, so would we rather have something with guacamole? Uh-oh. Burrito and guacamole sounds good. And we just kind of like start this conversation. So then we might decide, yeah, you know what? A burrito and like chips and guac really might sound good. And then we can actually think of some restaurants in the area. There's some drinks, iced tea. Maybe for dessert, do we want to go get donuts? So that's how I use it. And it's just silly and fun. And how are you not in a good mood when you use this deck? So that is my Food Fortunes deck. That is how I use it. And it's silly and it's cute. So, good mood deck all around. And look at the box. Go forth in hunger. So I honestly feel like this is how you can use divination to figure out what you're eating that day, which is like everyone relates to like, oh, I don't know what to cook or I don't know what to eat. Use this deck, man. It's so good. Okay, we've got 3 more decks. The next one on my Good Moods deck is the Bad Girl Oracle. So this is by Katie Skelly, the same artist who created the Bad Girl Tarot. So these cards are very oversized. You can see that like it covers my whole hand. It's huge. Food Fortunes is a standard tarot, so you can see the difference. So it's very huge. I edged this in black and I use this very specifically. So I use this kind of as like an archetype deck, and I use this, like my friends and I will use this before someone goes out on a date. And it's like, okay, I have a date with this new guy tonight. Like, what energy should I bring to it? And we'll pull a card, like the vampire. So it's like, okay, I guess you're just gonna go for it, and like you're gonna bleed this man dry. Like we'll have fun with this deck. We don't take it really seriously, but like maybe you want to show up and be the succubus, or maybe you want to be a little goth, or maybe you want to be a little wild. That's just how I've used it. So we use it for like 1-card pulls. You could also use this as like altar cards because they're larger. And the guidebook, we always read from the guidebook. It will give you, like I was talking about the vampire. So let's say like before a date, you pull the vampire. So we'd read this. It always talks about these archetypes in both like fiction, so like books and movies. And, we might say, okay, so she is the The vampire may signal a hunger for knowledge, passion, or excitement. So maybe it's like showing up in your passion, asking a lot of questions, talking about things that excite you. So like that can be a fun way to like decide how you want to show up on a date. Or maybe if you're like going somewhere, it's like, okay, like what energy do I want to bring to that today? So this is how I use this deck. So fun. So whenever I use this deck, I'm in a good mood, or I'm getting ready for something that's putting me in a good mood. And again, it's just fun. And I feel like I'm struggling with this tuck box right now. And sorry, the birds are like kind of going crazy. So if you hear them, just know why. They're just going crazy. All right, let me put this deck on the floor. Okay, we have 2 more. So next is in this pretty purple bag, which let me open it up. And this is just one of my favorite decks. This is my Moonchild Tarot. Everything about this deck puts me in a good mood because I really feel like Danielle Noel created this deck with intention, and it feels like a very special and elevated experience when I use it. So the box is beautiful. You are the dance of light and shadow. I love that this deck feels grounded to me, but also light at the same time. I feel like there's a lot of duality in this deck. Everything about this makes me really happy. I love her artwork. Danielle Noel's artwork has always kind of transported me into like what my dream landscapes look like. And it's so interesting that I can see another artist create what I dream about at night. So that makes me happy. Her artwork is mysterious, but it's also vintage, and it's also colorful and otherworldly. It's really feminine and beautiful and soft. This death card really makes me happy. Probably one of my favorite death cards ever. There's a lot of vintage characters in this. It's just the landscapes here just feel very dreamy. This is my dream world. And, you know, as a kid, even now, I really do sometimes live in a dream world. So I think that's why this deck resonates so much for me. And I know it's not a deck for everyone. Like some people are very like, love it or leave it. To me, I love it. The only thing I would say is I wish, maybe not with this deck, but I wish Danielle Noel would come out with a deck with this art aesthetic, but like dark saturated colors, a little bit of darker imagery, like almost like a shadow work deck. Though you could do shadow work with any deck, of course, but like more of this aesthetic, just like darker. Her original teasers when this deck first came out were a lot darker. They were a little more macabre, a little more kind of spooky, and I would love if she created a deck like that. I love the way the Moonchild is. I wouldn't want it changed, but I would love for her to do that, but I digress. I'm just kind of going off on a tangent. But this artwork is just simply stunning. Everything about it feels really special. So this is a deck I like to use for like my birthday readings. I always feel, I don't know why, I feel like it's a deck that like can be taken seriously for me. So on my birthday, I like to do like year ahead and just kind of like what's coming up in the next year. And this is the deck, ever since I've had it, is the deck I like to go to on my birthdays. So that's something that makes me happy. That puts me in a good mood. So yeah, this is a good mood deck for me. I can't wait to use this in August, which is coming up in like a few days. Okay, so let's put this back in the box. So good mood deck, my Moonchild. Love it, love it. And it also puts me in a good mood that I found this bag online, this fabric, and I reached out to the creator and I asked her to create like a bigger size because I wanted to keep the deck in the box. And I love this pairing. it just makes me really happy. So like the fact that I found such a beautiful deck pairing, or deck and bag pairing, is a good mood thing. Okay, so my last good mood deck is newer to my collection, and that is the Queer Tarot. So let's take a look. Love the box. I love any type of magnetic closure, but it does have a box inside. So let's talk about why this deck puts me in a good mood. So number one, just from an artistic standpoint, is this upside down? So just from an artistic standpoint, I love the art and I love the colors. I love bright pinks. They're very fun to me. They're very lively. They're cute. They're pretty. So like already I love the color palette and I love the art style. So that puts me in a good mood. It also puts me in a good mood that with the Queer Tarot, this is very, very inclusive. So I can use this with anyone and feel confident that like they're represented somewhere in here. And I like that. It just feels very open. It feels very open-minded. It feels very representative of others. It feels just welcoming and inclusive of all. So like this is a deck, since I've gotten it, I've used at some events where I read for other people. And a lot of people have been choosing this deck. I usually have a couple decks you can choose when I do in-person readings. And a lot of people chose this deck and a lot of people were loving it. So that makes me really happy. That puts me in a good mood. It's very, very Rider-Waite-Smith. Again, easy reader. Easy readers put me in a good mood. So like if I'm reading at an event, I don't have to like stare at an image and be like, what am I looking at? Like I know exactly what I'm looking at. Trying to find a card in particular. The Nine of Pentacles in here I think is just stunning. Let's see if I can find it. Can I find it? Where are you? This Queen of Cups is pretty badass too. Where are you? Nine of Pentacles. Are you going to be? There she is. So this like desert scene, I love. Look how luscious it is. Like that to me is very Nine of Pentacles energy, just like being surrounded by beauty and like stopping to smell the roses, like taking the time to just like enjoy where you are. I love this so much. So this is a really, really good mood deck for me. So not only the artwork, the coloring, the fact that it's inclusive puts me in a good mood, but the guidebook is really awesome. So let's see if I can give an example. Let's do the Nine of Pentacles since I just had her. Where'd she go? Let's take a look at the Nine of Pentacles. Let's find it in the guidebook. Okay, so it gives keywords, so prosperity, luxury, and comfort. It talks about it, and then it also tells you who the model is. So these are all based off of, most of the cards are based off of someone real. So this is Marina Brock, and her pronouns are she and her. So it also gives that, which is super inclusive and great. And the write-ups are just, they're really thoughtful. And then for each card, there's things to consider. So it kind of gives you some questions to ponder, like what can you celebrate right now? Take a moment to be grateful for the people and things around you, to acknowledge everything that you got, to acknowledge everything that got you where you are today. I don't know. It's such a great deck. It's such a great deck, and it's also affordable and like pretty accessible. So that's just a good mood deck, right? So yeah, these are my good mood decks. Let me put this back in the box. So we've got the Queer Tarot, my Food Fortunes, Tarot de Carlotides, which is a lovely one. Tin decks definitely make me happy. I've got the Moon Baby and my Moon Void and a few others I don't think I can fit in here. We've got Cute Cat, we'll put over to the side. This is my Northern Animals, amazing. And then my Bad Girl Oracle, and my Moonchild are on the floor right now. So these are just some of my good mood decks that I kind of, you know, thought of the second I heard this prompt. So I'd love to hear what you all think of my good mood decks. Do any of these also put you in a good mood? Have you done this tag yourself? If you haven't, again, I think the VR is from the Waves of Your Soul, but I will double check before I post it down below. And just use hashtag good mood decks, and you can kind of see what other people think their good mood decks are. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye.